What is going on, chat? What is going on, world? What is going on with you, my mate in the hole? Ketchup, you look like you're being derezed right now. You look like you're being literally thrown in Tron, and someone has derezed you.
You know what? I think this happens almost every week, and I'm going to keep everything crossed that it's going to sort itself out because
Yeah.
it's been a couple of weeks of working, and
Mm-hmm.
throughout all the practices that we've done, we've been testing this for an hour, and it's been just fine. We finally come back. Look, I'm all pixelated and RoboCop again. Just FYI, it's nothing to do with my camera or my end, so keep your judgments to
Yeah.
yourself. Welcome
Leave
everyone.
leave Brittany alone, I think is the main takeaway from this. You know what? The internet is the internet, and sometimes it just be that way.
A wise man once said it'd be like that. But welcome everyone to the latest edition to Friday Night Fights. I'm just going to keep everything crossed that I end up just kind of snapping my fingers and becoming high quality. But what are we here for? Every single week when we do Friday Night Fights, we're just trying to celebrate battle mode, right? That's why we're here. That's why you're watching. That's why we're in front of this camera. We're trying to celebrate the community, the passionate individuals that keep this mode going, whether it's the private matches, the kind of private games to practice and shape the meta, whether you just play matchmaking, you know what I mean? Whether you're a new player or you've been around since day one, I think this is a show for everyone. And what we want to do is just showcase what really high level battle mode looks like.
Yeah, so if you're brand new to the idea of battle mode, first of all, play Doom Eternal today, right now. Download it, live your life, your best life, because it's the greatest FPS ever made. There, I said it. It's easy to say once you've played it, because you will know this. But in Doom Eternal, battle mode is a 2v1, so it's got to be 2v1 because there can only be one Doomslayer, because that Slayer comes with great slaying comes great responsibility. I can't believe I just made that Spider-Man reference. It literally tilts me when people do that. Anyways, the most overused analogy has been out there. The longer the Slayer stays on the Earth, no, seriously, the Slayer basically he's fully kitted, he's fully armored out, so he has got the full arsenal of weapons at his disposal. I was gonna say minus the BFG, but again, as a power upgrade in the round later on, there is an option for BFG. But regardless, like, the Slayer has the responsibility of double dash, double jump, flame belching, frag grenading, literally popping off at all times. And up against that, he has to deal with two massive demons, of which there are 5 in the game right now. And they can spawn other demons to make it kind of like a crazy, really frenetic arena-based single-player campaign kind of experience, but of course against humans, the ultimate test and challenge. So that is battle mode. That is why we're here. It is Friday night. Ketchup, if you're still there as a hologram, I just want to know if you're ready to dive straight into this, because we have got Allstin, we have got SaltyCow, the saltiest of cows, and we have got Frost that are rearing to go here. And again, this is not a best of 3. These matches are
No.
pre-recorded, so we can do all of the magic that we do over top of them, as far as overlays, as far as showing you guys like what everybody end of round picks are. But before we jump straight in and go absolutely bananas, I want to talk about another big reason that we're here, which of course is for charity.
Yes. So if you go into the Twitch chat, you can do !donate or !charity. Bethesda at Home, it's been going on for quite a while, working with a variety of different charities. This week, it's going to be UNICEF. And fundamentally, everyone's staying at home. Everyone's hopefully staying safe. If you want to contribute towards a very worthy cause, you can go and press either of those commands in chat. And if not, just spread the word, or at the very least, just enjoy the show. We're all here, we're all trying to stay safe during this difficult time. And if you want to contribute, it's more than appreciated. If not, I think between the 3 players, SaltyCow, Frost, and Allstin, I think we're almost about ready to get into map number 1, Tokyo.
100%. I think without further ado, we should just 3, 2, 1. Let's go straight in. We are diving into
for the
Celestial.
split second, Tokyo. For the split second, my video camera was actually working. I guarantee that might be the only time you actually see it play ball. But here we go. A map that is quite out in the open. You know, some players definitely struggle on this map. As we can see lineup-wise, Double Marauder. It's one of the first times we've seen Double Marauder picked, period, with this matchup. And Double Marauder, I mean, it's all-out aggression. You have to be. You're small, you've got a low stack, especially post-patch, seeing it's a little bit trickier for Marauders to get that damage reduction on board. You have to go all out. You have to just get them before they get you.
And you see SaltyCow wasting absolutely zero time. Allstin very smartly is basically hanging out in the back of the teleporter so he has an escape route, and he does take it because there's just so much aggression coming out here. You've got SaltyCow and Frost literally on the prowl, both of which, again, Marauders are probably the smallest of demons and one of the hardest to hit because just like the Slayer, they also have the dash ability. And as you can see here, they're both rocking just the absolute, literally gold standard Imperial Marauder and going bananas, hitting those super shotguns. It was too much for round one for the Slayer to take.
Now, normally, demons are quite hindered in round one compared to the Slayer because the end of round upgrades matter so much. And speaking of which, Master Carve coming out, classic Slayer pick. But here's the thing, it's not going to be an identical mirror pick of the upgrades. It's Bury the Hatchet and Best Friends. So one of these two Marauders is going to get that movement speed, and the other one is going to have that damage reduction. So they're going to kind of do separate things with each other. But like I said, it's all-out aggression with these two demons back to back. But I do find it interesting that they're going for slightly different utility. And when it comes to aggression, normally demons struggle a lot in round one. Double Marauder has a slightly better chance because they're just raw damage all the time. That's what it's all about. But that's an early frag. You go aggressive with the Marauder, sometimes you risk just getting deleted.
And I mean, already, like, the amount of pressure that they're putting down, like, right off the bat, as you can see, it's too much for Allstin to handle because, honestly, it wasn't just the fact that he was backing up into noxious hazards that they were throwing down expertly, but it was just the pressure. It was the wolves. It was the whole thing. So, again, dashing, absolutely necessary for the Slayer right now. He's picking that as a very good choice because he needs to get out of dodge quick. And these Marauders, of course, you're going one with bigger bar, which I like. That's the respect of the Slayer. And the other, which is another good pick. But honestly, like, the question is can this turn around, and if so, how? Because as of right now, the fact that they're going so aggressive, as a Slayer, even if your quick switches are near perfect, you have to start creating space here. And okay, I like that he's popped with the rocket launcher. Honestly, I feel like remote detonate is probably your best friend in this case because you just want to create some space that they have to respect. But right now they're just being so aggressive, and it's hard to prioritize when you're being pressured this much. It's crazy, catch up. What do we do?
Marauder. It's got Double Marauder written all over it. Allstin's going to use the teleporter, but you know that's just one of the Marauders is going to try and stop him. But yeah, with that low stack, you can very much, oh my god, you can very much reach your point of no return when it comes to Double Marauder. They are so good at chasing you down that, and obviously we can't forget that they've got hit scan too. Like hit scan makes a massive difference, and I think I blinked in the first map finished. GG.
It did.
I think that's the fastest map we've ever had.
That was speedy. Again, Double Marauder that's a lot of bullying. Like we've seen the double Mancubus. I believe it was definitely it was Moon Marooned and Nero at Redgrave, and the bully ball they played, it was aggressive, but it's still so much slower because the mobility of the Mancubus is only so much. But God, with Double Marauder, it's like there's just so much pressure, and there's such a it's not that you have to create an escape, it's that you have to create a space that they have to respect, which is so hard when they're both using so much dash, they're putting so much pressure on, and they're pushing around with noxious hazards. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our three players that we just saw literally sprint through map one. Are you with me, Allstin, SaltyCow, and Frost? I want to start with Allstin, who's literally about to serenade us with probably the most romantic song I've ever heard. I'm not sure what it is yet, but I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Yes.
That's
sick.
That
I respect
first
that.
round, I got Bazooka Joey deleted. They were way on top of the aggression, and I have to give him for that. Not much to say other than I wanted to keep the fight on the right side. That's very wide open. You got the jump pads, the monkey bar. You can keep them out. They don't have any cover. But if they can bring you over to the left side, that's where they'll run around circles with you in that glass house. And I caught myself over there too many times, made some slip ups, and they were able to just pull it together. And that was a good round, good quick aggression. Threw me off there.
I mean,
Gotta
it's
give
the,
'em
the
that.
nature of Double Marauder, you know, where from a viewer's perspective, like the thing about Double Marauder is when you see it, you know what you're gonna get. You know,
Yeah.
like it kind of does what it says on the tin, where it's gonna be super aggressive, kind of, but for better or worse. You know, either you
Yeah.
die or right, and that's absolutely a strategy that's adopted. But one of the big things, actually, I'll kind of ask the same question to both SaltyCow and Frost, starting with you, Frost. So you both rocked a Double Marauder, but you picked different upgrades. You know, you didn't go with a complete sort of mirror image of upgrades, which sometimes Double Demon picks will do. So just run me by your picks, because if memory serves, yours was Bury the Hatchet, right?
Correct, yeah. So for Salty, he was more of a aggressive yet kind of laid back. If we needed him to die, then that would not be a problem if I'd bury the hatchet because I can land my hits and then run away if need be and just keep going and make that as permanent as possible just to escape, get that constant refresh, especially in the early rounds. It's really hard for demons to win on round one. No upgrades, nothing. We have everything stacked against us. So any type of benefit going in the future rounds is super useful for us.
Absolutely. That's always the biggest thing I notice when I see Double Marauders is that so often demons kind of struggle in round one. I guess it's almost like you would almost think that it's like almost like by design, because
Hmm.
it's their upgrades are so game changing even after round one. Where, you know, if the Slayer kind of lets you reach that power upgrade round, it becomes way harder for him, because then you start to get those insane kind of heals and reses and all this other stuff. So it's always good to see two players kind of go against the grain and figure out how they can make that first round kind of an advantage. And speaking of which, SaltyCow, Marauder as well. Run me by your picks and why.
So I love to use the best friends just because it's like after they already nerfed the because you used to be able to summon it and it would give armor and that was
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. You could be so incredibly aggressive with that.
Yeah.
So now I decided, hey, instead of doing bury the hatchet, I'm gonna just do best friend first and then tactician just to lower the cooldowns. So now I could just be incredibly aggressive with best friend and then also when the wolf bites, you get even more armor. So it's just
Mm.
helpful all around. It's just you can tank so much more.
So
Yeah.
fast maps like that. How do you? I guess I'll go back to you, Austin, before we jump into the next one, because again, I feel like that's got to be the fastest map that we've seen on Friday Night Fight so far. I think it clocked at about 3.5 minutes. Um, what is your general mindset? Like, how do you sort of try and mentally stay there when you've got two Marauders that are just rushing you down to that degree? What do you tell yourself?
Yeah, that's actually something I was talking to Conjugates and Kernit about. I'm like, hey, I think something I'm weak at is when I get played extremely aggressively like that. I start to kind of back out mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if I can lead that aggression, I'm a little more confident. So them capitalizing on that without recognizing it, it really helped out a lot. It
Hmm.
really put me on the back foot and gave them that advantage to press forward with the thing I'm weak at. So it was a good move.
GG's.
It was a good move.
100%. So we've got 2 more matches. So I hope that the popcorn is popped. I hope that the drinks are ready. Thank you guys. I'm going to despawn you from the internet quickly. Poof. Just like that, you're a logo. And just like that, we're about to jump right back into match 2. But before we do, Ketchup, I just want to thank you for joining me as a person, because you are back. The internet gods have listened. They
here.
have granted
I'm
us.
Slated.
I feel like you went and you got the rune for non-hologram, and we're all together now. So it is Friday night. We are ready. It is match 2. It's go time. Here we are.
So, I mean, I guess from that point, after a map like that, the only way you can go is up. Because when it's a one-sided win, you kind of have to just refresh things, right? Kind of almost just write that map off. But going into
100%.
Tundra, similar to a Celestial in terms of size, where it's very aggressive. You know, you can expect to see a lot of fights. This time, though, it's going to be a demon change. So the Archvile and Revenant combo, very setup heavy, but when it's, when it works out and you can start getting those combos together, Wall and Debuff combined with Missile Barrage is a crazy strong combo. However, SaltyCow is going to get caught a little bit in that first round, but the immediate wiseness to just get out of there. The Revenant's going to be a sitting duck during the barrage, and you have to try and escape.
This is an aggressive Archvile. Like, I don't know if I've seen a push like that in an Archvile in quite some time. And honestly, like, it's hard to say which map exactly favors, demons versus Slayer, but I gotta say, I think that this is, if Slayers utilize wow. That was a delete. Like, again, that was a really nice trade-off between Frost being really aggressive, backing off, and then all of a sudden the rockets were there. Like, the Doot was activated. The notes were being played just so. Mastercarve, absolutely perfect pick for round 2 going in here for Allstin. Broiling Heat, of course, and Acrobat, of course, because it's basically like, you know, the two things that enhance these demons most. It's basically like a no-brainer pick straight off the bat where they want to use the abilities that only those demons have. So, again, I have to point out, because chat knows, I know, you know, like, again, this is, I think, the second time we've seen a Revenant on Friday Night Fights. I'm imagining there's a tear in your eye. I'm looking off camera, and I see that there is. Ketchup, how are you feeling right now?
I was choking on air. Sorry, I breathed in and just choked on nothing. I'm back
Is that
now,
what it's
though.
called? When you're sad because you realize...
Like,
go ahead.
You ever have that random thing where you just start... Yeah, it's a conversation for another time, completely irrelevant. But what is worth pointing out, though, is that although we see a Revenant this time around, SaltyCow is actually going with the defensive action set, and that one gives you damage reduction and heal. It really is all about the damage reduction more than anything else, because it just lets you be crazy aggressive. But right now, looks like both demons pretty tender, all things considered. Allstin, not particularly healthy himself, though, needs to get some armor on deck. But the thing about having Archvile combined with Revenant here is that Archvile can go all aggressive, and the Revenant can almost be that utility. By the way, caught in a terrible position, and all he has to do really is just breathe on him at this point to take him out. But SaltyCow, using that movement, the second we get Acrobat, the Revenant becomes really hard to hit.
Ooh, yeah, some really, really nice moves there, too, of basically being evasive, trying to use the geometry of the map to basically body block these hits, because he knows it's coming, and there it is. So, okay, we've got Allstin on the board. He's got one of the demons down. He's got basically 15 seconds now to see if he can take out Frost. Frost has just used some of those Archvile spicy moves there. The Lake of Fire is already out. He's on the retreat, but again, the Archvile is so tricky in that way. Forget what I'm saying. Forget what I'm saying, because there's only so much teleport available. It's on cooldown, and Allstin capitalizes. That's a 1-1 there. Ketchup, walk us through these end of rounds here.
Everything here is pretty traditional. The only exception is that Frost goes for bigger bar rather than Tactician. You normally see a lot of demon players kind of rock Tactician as their second upgrade because of the action sets being so impactful, but you almost kind of think that with Frost being in many ways kind of like the initiator and the one that's pressing the advantage in fights, having that bigger bar combined with a wall and the fact that you can be healed by a Revenant, and likely we're going to see the team heal again, that just that extra little bit of sustain that should be the one that's pressing. And speaking of which, you need to be trying to just bring that aggressive trap. Look at how much damage he's taken as well.
It's because, but it was honestly, that was worth it, I think, as a demon, as an exchange, because the fact that he pushed him from that firewall to the Noxious Hazard, he took away all of his armor, he put him on the back foot, and even though he's hurting a little bit now, I think the pressure that was put on initially, it kind of set the tone, and I'm thinking this is, even though Frost is off the map as we speak, I think that this is still advantage demons at the moment, because SaltyCow is healthy as a horse, another animal from the farm, but I gotta tell you, like, this, okay, there's some resource management. Okay, now he's restacking. Allstin's looking a little better, but again, with both of them respawn now, with Frost back at half health, an Archvile with half health with the defense that he has is basically a regular demon at full health. So I'm curious to see how Allstin's going to pull this off right now.
Well, the damage reduction's ready to go, but he knows that, again, yeah, now he's down to 1200, it's time to pop it, but that heal in the middle of a fight, that kind of 100 here, 100 there pip that you build up, using the wall, and it kind of just goes hand in hand, and why Revenant and Archvile can work so well together. It's just all about trying to give yourself any tiny advantage, and right there, the couple of hundred that he got in that fight might be able to keep him alive. They're trying to be aggressive, they're trying to push. That's the debuff. Remember, Broiling Heat as well, he's going to do less damage. And they have the block. Yep, they've got the block. Eyeing up at pips, though, he's got 2 chainsaw pips, so there should be at least 1 free bit of loot here.
Yep, there we go. He's got it. So he's back, he's stacked. They're bunched up, and it didn't go for Frost there. He goes down. He goes down because there just wasn't enough space. Yeah, I mean, you can only teleport out so easily. Okay, this is dangerous now because very low on health. SaltyCow is doing a really, really good job of being evasive, using those afterburners. Oh my, wow.
You feel a certain way when the Revenant grabs the ledge. Like, it's very rarely intentional, and it can sometimes really get you killed, but he survives this time.
It looks
really good dodging, and the strength of the Acrobat. The Revenant is so hard to pin down that it's one of the harder demons to actually finish off. One of the strengths, mobility above all else.
And see, Allstin's in a perfect position here to do some pressure, to do some damage, because SaltyCow has got a fingernail of health. I can't believe he's actually still alive right now. He's hiding, he's being evasive.
He's got trap.
Okay, this is a good corner to set up something here for Frost. Let's see what happens. Okay, really nice denial of space. Now let's see if... God, SaltyCow is literally in Antarctica over there, trying to stay alive. Ooh, but he's got it out, and he's healing himself. And you know what? He's coming back stronger than ever because he's able to full heal on this right now.
Wow.
Ooh,
and I mean,
ooh.
Tactician comes through. Remember, Tactician lets your action skills last a lot longer than they normally do. So the heal becomes way more potent, especially when Allstin had to disengage and heal up himself. You're essentially going for a complete trade-off. Damage reduction's ready to go. Going in with the barrage, and that is a quick deletion there. That's why the Revenant's so good at deleting, even without having extra damage or damage aura, whatever it is. It's very multi-purpose. But here comes the power upgrades. Endless Rage for the extra damage, but the double team heal. You know, this is very much kind of like the meta established. Both demons will kind of rock the team heal because you just need that sustain. Even though, you know, it's different than it used to be, 30% each way. Even though the descriptions currently, I believe, don't currently reflect that, but it is 30%. It's something that the two demons can always use to just give them that extra edge in a fight, whether it's sustain, whether it's push, whatever.
Really nice couple of shots coming out of Allstin to start it off. Again, I like seeing Allstin use more of the monkey bars, using more of the zenith in the middle, because I feel like this is a map that can easily go in the Slayer's way if he stays aloof and basically doesn't put those sweet boots on the ground. Because honestly, when you do, and you've got something like an Archvile with, you know, that fire lake available, it's just so hard when you start stacking that and you do Noxious Hazard, which he's already done expertly once. Like, I'm afraid for Allstin when he's on the ground, but okay. That barrage, again, it does so much damage.
There comes the ambush. Ooh, that's going to be a GG right there. It all comes down to the right moment, Tokyo. It comes down to that one moment to go, right, here they are. It's time and a place. And it's the burst damage of a Revenant, no matter what action set you've got, and an Archvile that can specifically focus on debuff and Noxious Hazard. And when you put those together, it can be such a nightmare for even the most talented of Slayer to get away. And if you ambush them at the right time, there's pretty much nothing you can do. It is the whole, look, they say strategy versus skill. That's what it comes down to. If you have that plan to pick that one moment, you can win the whole series on it.
Speaking of which, we are going to respawn in these three fighters from the internets, from the webs, from the vacuum tubes. Are you there, boys? Okay, I see you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're looking okay. We're looking okay. Okay, so I actually want to start in reverse order this time. Frost, I really liked in the way that you played Archvile, specifically, like, I felt like you were doing a lot of kind of like redirecting with where Allstin could basically be safe, and you were doing so much area of denial that, like, the way that you would kind of funnel him around in different ways, and then SaltyCow would be ready. Was it in that match in particular, like, were you kind of doing shot calling, or was it just kind of like the back and forth of like normal comms for, like, you know, demons in general?
Absolutely not. Like, if you could hear Salty and I in any type of match, it's consistent communication. For example, that whole area denial, like midway through the match, I think it was the second round in where the Revenant was able to fully heal. We were all corresponding that because he needed health. So he told me rush in, try to get him distracted, and it worked perfectly. He was able to completely dominate that entire round for us. Another thing importantly is we choose our demons depending on the map. So that's why we try to use this syncing, because especially on Tundra, there's a lot of small corridors. Even the portal alone, we were going into it thinking that if he uses the portal as an Archvile, that's it. That's our round. If we can catch him off guard. And that's basically what we were doing. Just constant communication, a lot of area denial, as you said. Just shutting down, trying to redirecting him into specific areas to do as much damage as possible. I was basically kamikazing. That was my only objective.
But that's interesting, right?
Is that one of the reasons you went in with the bigger bar?
Yes. So I noticed early on that he keeps going for me because, you know, as an Archvile, you're very tall. And I was taking 500 damage off the beginning of the round from him using his ballista. And then he swapped to his heavy cannon for precision bolt. And it was really annoying. So I just put on heavy bar to at least have some extra health when I'm in that mid battle there.
Excellent. And it obviously clearly worked out for you. And SaltyCow, from one defensive Revenant to another, you go with the defensive action set. I'm
Yes.
probably already thinking what you're thinking, but run it by the people over because you can pick neither. Revenant's one of the demons that you can actually very much justify either or, but tell the people why you go with defensive.
So, in my opinion, defensive is better because just
I agree.
Revenant is such a
What you
is
said.
such a
Continue.
is such a smushy character. Like he has so little health. Like he can get away after the first round with the acrobat, but you really gotta play smart or you're gonna get dominated. So I like to, because I mean his barrage is insanely it damages so much. So I love to do the defensive because healing it came in clutch that second round and the armor can save your life. It's very helpful.
100%, man. I always feel the same thing as when you combine the armor with the acrobat too. You just become insanely hard. It's good for survival and all that good stuff. But
Oh yeah, for sure.
clearly it worked out for the two of you. And mentioning going in with different demons for different maps and stuff like that. It's you can see why the strats come out the way they do because so many maps if they have those tight corridors, it's Archvile and Revenant. They can just that. It's like I said earlier, that one moment they just go, "Hello, you're here." Both of them are here now, and you're dead. Speaking of which, Allstin, the ending of that map. Obviously, you gave it a good fight, but how different did it feel going from, in the space of a couple of maps, you've got the Double Marauder, and then instantly kind of the Revenant Archvile wombo combo. Like, run me through that.
Okay, so one thing that I think I could have done better there is more use of the jump pads and monkey bars for the mobility. It's harder to hit a Slayer when he's doing this through the air, and you
Mm.
already are dealing with a Revenant that can fly, an Archvile that can teleport. The only thing I was thinking, I'm glad there's not a pain elemental in there for flying around. That's the main thing I think. Just doing that more, making sure I connect the shots that do. Maybe whenever he was healing at the very end, pushing in a little bit harder to finish him off there instead of being so back off conservative. Trying to put better control in the match because if you have the control, you're in a much better place than if you don't, of course.
Sure.
So it's
And
it's a lot different.
And you were doing the damage for sure. Like there was multiple times where you had pushes where you had one of them down. And then it's always that like 50-50 of like, do you hard push on the demon that's alive and finish them off, or do you restack and resupply? Because, at that point there's only like one loop block on there. And it's always that tough call because, obviously as the rounds went on and they get team heal, you kind of have to be more aggressive because even if you restack, like the fact that they can basically go full stack, even like
Yeah.
like even in the middle of a fight, like, but I feel like it's just one of those things, right? As a Slayer, like with so many options in your kit, it's always about like focusing in and trying to make those adjustments and like trying to fine tune like those times to be like hyper aggressive. Because again, like I've never seen like I really like what Frost did in that as a super aggro Archvile because I don't know if I've ever actually seen that aggressive an Archvile. And again, it's such a good combo with SaltyCow as the Revenant because that barrage, like that's not a hit scan. Like those are actual rockets being fired. So like technically like there's so much damage possible, but it's also really easy to miss in the sense that like if the Slayer has dashes available, like he can just bounce straight out of like a lot of those rockets, even though they're coming fast and furious. But the way that Frost was able to use Lake of Fire and Noxious Hazard to basically like kind of zero in that area and knowing that
Satisfying combo. It's
really
never
is.
not going to be super fun to watch.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. But GG's, boys. Again, we have one more final match, so I'm going to despawn you for just a moment. Oh, wow, there's a trumpet out, too. I can't wait to hear what this dude's about to be happening in a minute after this match. But I'm going to despawn you guys just for 1 second to, again, talk real quickly. I've heard some come in. We love and appreciate everyone that's in the chat. Again, quick shout out for UNICEF. This is about helping those in need. Obviously, we're all in a very weird situation right now with COVID, but UNICEF are on the front lines basically making sure that children and their families are happy, safe, and fed. And so if you can, go ahead and do !donate or !charity. Anything you can spare, we really appreciate it. Again, this is Bethesda at Home Initiative, and we are just glad to have you all here safe in our homes, practicing as we should be. And speaking of practice, I think we've had enough of this in between. Let's get straight back into what has been just 2 blazing matches so far into the third and final map. Are you ready, Ketchup?
I was born ready.
Well, let's
Go. Let's go. Oh, I forgot you had that. Anyway, the lineup here. So it's going to be Shades of the first map, the Double Marauder, coming in really hot. And on a map like Forsaken, one of the more popular maps that you actually see this lineup used in the first place. Often a map that a lot of Demon players say they very much don't like playing on as much as others. It can be a little bit of a challenge. But for Double Marauder, you've just got a lot of mobility. You have a lot of opportunities to get that bunny hopping on deck, which can really happen at a high level. And the aggression, that there's less room for you to move around, but with a Double Marauder team, there's less room for a Slayer as well.
It's true. It's basically comes down to that first option right there. Like you can see already, like what I've been seeing and I've been noticing a lot of is when they go Double Marauder the way they do, sometimes they're not even spawning both of their spawnable demons, like for minions to come out. And I think it's because, simply put, like the more pieces you put on the board, that's also more options for Allstin to restack and resupply. And they're being so aggressive. Oh yeah, exactly. More meat hooks. So like he's doing a really good job of being evasive. He's got them both really low. Again, round one is always advantage Slayer because of the way that power-ups at the end of the round work. Let's see if Allstin can finish. It's interesting he didn't meat hook there because he wanted to take the damage, but he's not hitting enough.
Yeah. He's trying to keep it really safe with the meat hook, but there's the block. The danger is, what position is he in? The Arachnotrons are out, and if anything, they're amazing at body blocking. And he's low on ammo. This is a really tricky position. He hasn't got a lot of ammo left, and at this point, surely they actually have a loot block ready to rock too, because I only clocked one of them. I might have really bad memory, but Allstin, he's so weak. And the bot, I mean, surely he can't survive this. Look at how much death. Even with the shield, can he reach the teleporter? No, he cannot.
And that was the right move, to put your back against the teleporter, pop that chain gun and let it fly. But the problem is the shield wasn't up, the little portable shield, and so there needed to be a backdash into the teleporter. Demons get away with the skin of their teeth. The skin of their teeth, which is hidden behind a mask, of which is the most oppressive voices. Bury the Hatchet, best friend, comes out. Of course, Master Carve for Allstin as the Slayer, really wanting to get those resources back quicker because he definitely was caught with some ammo problems there at the end. So, very nice shot right off the bat with Ballista base fire. I like that he's not using the mods. He's going for DPS. I appreciate that. The wolf is already out. Let's see if this comes into play. God, there's two of them. Oh, God, it's a dog pound.
Dashes mean so much in this matchup because you're going to see so many Noxious Hazards and they're going to have a dash to kind of go toe-to-toe. So many mind games are going to have to apply which direction you're going to dash, you're going to try and trick. The teleporter, if anything, it's just a little bit of breathing space, but that's only going to last so long when you've got two Marauders. And we now know that Bury the Hatchet and the Best Friend have come out, so that utility's already been unlocked. Allstin fighting for his life, and wait a minute, I was just clocking the HP there. I was like, surely he's going to die soon. Okay, there he goes.
Allstin's doing such a good job this round, though, of using the verticality of the Slayer that only the Slayer can do. He can use the jump pads, he uses the double dash, he's using the monkey bars. He's all over the damn place, and as a Marauder, one of the most frustrating things is you want to be using that super shotgun, which you can only really do effectively up close. You're throwing those axes, they only do 10 damage, so honestly, I've seen some Marauders, basically barely ever throw the axe, and there we go. There's the second deletion. So he's only got SaltyCow back now with only half health. Of course, he's just respawned in. There's two Arachnotrons. Those girls are pushing Allstin around the map a little more than he wants to. There's a lot of fire coming out. They're in a really bad spot.
They want a piece of the action, SaltyCow. That's what it is.
Oh, and that doge.
You have to be very careful on that shield there, because remember, it's gone, and kind of like a 5-second cooldown, so if you get caught going up a ledge, you risk not having it. No target, and surely it's a miracle if he survives this. Wow. And I loved it. The use of the hazard to get rid of the shield, that is a common strategy these days, and it's why double hazard works so well. You see a shield, you pop the hazard, and it just gets rid of it. And from that point, he's done. He can't escape.
100%. And also, the real MVP of that round at the end of it was the AI that they spawned in the Demon players. They're going with bigger bar, very good choice, and also Tactician to get that. I'm guessing that's Salty just based on the fact that I know he likes that doge out, and he likes that doge out as fast as humanly possible. You want to make everything you do last longer, and you want to make it come up faster. And right now, again, a really good start, as always, from Allstin, hitting with those just base shots of Ballista. But the dog has already got his teeth sunk in here. The Noxious Hazard is out. The pressure is on. The Arachnotron is just like hit scaling right now.
So much damage.
Oh my.
Absolutely tons of that range damage. And this is actually good positioning if you're in the Slayer's boot. There's so much splash there. They went all in.
They really did. It was a hard push. It was a hard push and it was well fought, but ultimately Allstin came out ahead of that one because, again, sometimes the best strategy is when they're going super aggro is to use your dash to basically, plus back, which is exactly what he did there. Sentinel Infused coming out, no surprise there because he basically wants to start with more health and more armor because he knows he's going to be pushed and he's going to be tested right away. Double team heal, of course, the ultimate meta. They need to be ready for when they need that health and just to be able to pop it and survive. So let's see how this round starts. This is round 3. You've got Advantage Demons 2-1 catch-up. What are you seeing? What are you thinking for this round?
I mean, the reality is, I'm not surprised that we saw Sentinel infused, because if you're facing off against a double team heal, you kind of need to go toe-to-toe. He hasn't built into the grenade, so the bonus boom's not really going to show its face. But with Double Marauder having access to that, it just becomes so scary in comparison. And you can see it here. Like, look at how much more aggressive, if that's even possible to say, they're being more aggressive than they were before. Health is critical, but there's the team heal, and the fact that they've got the damage reduction. This is a horrendous position for Allstin. Look how weak he is. The shield, I mean, it's going to have to pay its dues.
And he's just looking for fodder. He just needs to get those resources back. Okay, Chainsaw is out. Is Luke going to be blocked? It is. Okay, he's doing some good damage. He's plus backing. Ooh, that knocks his hazard, though. But again, he got out of it almost unscathed. He used his dash appropriately. He still had it left. He's doing decent poke damage. Oh, God, I'm telling you, these Arachnotrons are in the best spot.
They've been so annoying.
Yeah, they really have.
Get away. Get out of here. Go back to Doom 2.
God, one Doge just bit him and the other one is out to he's hungry. He's truly hungry. That Arachnotron literally is the third demon on this map. Oh, God. But the plus back is honestly, this is a great map to kind of...
Carcass!
Ooh.
Yo, Arachnotron's a third demon, Carcass is a fourth.
He really is.
That was such a block. However, actually, one of the Marauders is down, and Salty looking pretty weak at this point.
But wait, there's another Arachnotron on the map, which is like a fourth player. Okay, very nice deletion there. Allstin's in a really good spot right now. Ooh, such a nice poke.
He got it, no, he got it. Yeah, there's the damage reduction coming through. Without damage reduction, that totally would have done it.
Okay, Allstin's on. He's on the prowl, but you know what? Oh, the team heal. Clutch. So clutch right now.
Completely. Oh, yeah, they've gone
there it
for the
is.
second
There's
one.
the full team heal.
It's not made a huge deal until we saw the second one come through. SaltyCow was so insanely weak, and just like that, the tide might have been turned in this fight, because, I mean, look how weak he is. They've just rocked their team heal. Now, they're likely to block one of those, yes. So what Allstin has to do now is just try and concentrate on getting some of the health stack. No, he has to force those demons to make a choice. Deny ammo or deny health. He's fighting back. I love his defensive shots. Like, they're keeping him alive in this fight 100%.
Yeah, and you can see constantly now, like, the way that he's keeping resources in his favor, like his chainsaws have been clutch. Very nice deletion there. Very, very nice. This round is by far the best round we've seen so far. Okay. Oh, there's that combo he's been looking for. Again, once that Marauder jumps in the air, sure, he's got a dash, but guess what happens after that? He's just a floating monster in the air that's easy to hit. And using that combination of ballista... Yeah, using that ballista fire and then, of course, precision scope of the heavy cannon. Such a nasty combo for damage. Really well executed by Allstin there.
We haven't even touched on this either as we're going into this final round. Like, the Marauder can bunny hop. You can totally bunny hop in this game and get that burst of speed. You know, speedrunner strats. Not just exclusive to the Slayer anymore. Like, really good Marauders will kind of learn how to do that. And that kind of movement is so important at this level of play. Not easy to do, though. Not simple.
Absolutely not. And it's especially key by the fact that Marauders are the only demon that have, a single dash to their name, which that dash is absolutely crucial for, like, at the top speed, you can get a whole nother burst and be really elusive, really hard target. My God, they're doing so much pressure here.
Oh, so that right there was so close but so far for Allstin, to be honest, because it looks like the right time. It looks like the moment to go in, but double team heal. It's so easy to accidentally kind of bite off more than you can chew, where you go, you look at that low bar and you're just like, it's the forbidden fruit, isn't it? You need it, you want it, and then they just kind of go, I've got health now. Where are you? Like, where was all that energy? Not so cocky now, Mr. Slayer.
Yeah, I feel like
great match.
That team heal was so clutch in that second to last round. It was like when it was extending and it was looking like it was going in Allstin's favor. The first one came out and you were like, okay, it's a little bit even. But all of a sudden when the second one came out, it was like, That's too much. It's too much health for these demons because now they can just turn into be straight aggressive. And by aggressive also, I also want to pull them straight out of Discord, straight into this thing. Okay, they're all there. We have got an actual, I was just about to call you the king of burgers, and then the throne literally, you dethroned yourself there. Allstin, walk us through that last map. You had some really, really nice moments of plus backing. Walk us through what it's like to be put to the amount of pressure of literally what I can only call the gold standard, because these guys were rocking the Imperial skins, which looked regal AF. Like, walk us through what that last map was like.
Oh man, that was a good one. Yeah, it's 2-2. I kind of thought I had it, kind of like why buy the whole seat when you're only going to need the edge kind of thing. But unfortunately, couldn't go through. I tried to stay out in the open to have all the wide open jump pads, monkey bars, and they stopped that. They stopped that. Putting the aggression on. So it's like,
I mean,
man,
you did a lot better in that map though than Celestial. It's the same comp, the same upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like. I think I tend to go with Forsaken just a little more. But I wanted to first thing I wanted to do, which would have been a horrible idea. The blue portal, like right off to the left of the spawn. I wanted to originally rush into there and come right behind them and just Leroy Jenkins, but I was told that maybe when I was, not such a good idea. So I tried to kind of keep it out in the open and almost.
Sometimes it can work. Sometimes. Like look, I'm RoboCop again. Great.
If you want to cook a Marauder to well done, I kind of brought it to maybe like medium rare right there. So
that's how I prefer it. To be fair, to your credit, that's how I prefer it, mate.
So almost.
Speaking of which, absolutely good match. And let's talk to those tender boys, those medium rares. Like, first of all, you guys are bullies. You guys rate Double Marauder 2 maps. Like, walk us through though, because I know, right? It's an aggressive run, but I gotta say that, like, it's interesting though, because that is, I think, the ballsiest of maps to run double anything, just based on the fact that as a demon you're so exposed. There's so many lines of sight that you can try to use that middle section near the teleporter, the lower one, where you can kind of do a little bit of like rope-a-dope and ring around, because you've got the you can still obviously pull yourself up on the one side for the ledge grab. You've got the dash, you've got the jump, but like, walk us through that. When I know that, like, first of all, do you guys consider yourself like a main as far as demons go? Or I know you say it's map dependent. Not at all?
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
Salty and I are very strict on maps.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just like best demon comp for the map, period.
I'd say I feel comfortable with Marauder just because in battle mode I love to do Slayer just in general, and he's very similar.
Yeah.
But really no full on main.
That's actually a rather common answer. Like, so many players when they rock either, whether they rocked the old sort of Doom style deathmatch or whatever it might be, a lot of players that kind of have that kind of Slayer experience always seem to gravitate towards Marauder. And it's almost like that was probably the intention or something, right? It almost seems
for
like
sure. It's like, hey, you want to play the Slayer, but you're a demon. Play the Marauder. Like, yeah, you don't have a meat hook, but like, you have a lot of the rest of the kit. As far as like, if you're rocking the super shotgun most of the time anyway, it's like, that's half.
Can you
that's
imagine
half
a Marauder with a meat hook? Can you imagine that?
Oh God, that would be
like 2 Marauders going around the whole map.
Yeah.
Can I have a green wolf?
Slayer gets it. Okay, Slayer gets a green wolf.
Into battle mode. Screw you, Marauder. Slayer
gets a green wolf. Both Marauders have meat hooks. They're literally just hooked on and just circling around, trying not to get hit by the green wolf. Sounds like a mess. Sounds like fun. SaltyCow, in that match, I saw that there was like a couple of moments, like I can't even say whose it was. You guys both had the same kit, correct? As far as your demon picks, because like every time I would see an Arachnotron, I'm like, whose Arachnotron is that? And then I'd see another Arachnotron, I'm like, shit, it's both of their. Your placement of Arachnotrons though, like usually you see a lot of people either put them on top or they'll put them on the other side, like the lower side of the telly. And honestly, like, when you think about the map, you're like, well, that makes the most sense. But I feel like you guys are putting them a lot on the opposite side, like the, whatever you want to call it, like kind of the T on like the high side of the teleporter. And like, dude, those Arachnotrons were straight up like, that was like 3rd and 4th teammates. Like, like, walk us through even just the way that you guys were spawning and when you're spawning. Like, is it just like the strat is you just spawn straight away because you need to have, other targets body blocking, all that, or do you guys get crazy as far as like where and when you place these things?
So I love to put a carcass and just hide it somewhere because those walls get so annoying so quick.
Yeah.
And then with my arachnotrons, I love to try to put it like where the jump pad is gonna land. Because if you land on top of an arachnotron, oh, you're screwed. Like it hurts so bad.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
that
that's
make. I
about
mean,
my
that does
mindset
make a
with
lot of
that.
sense.
Yeah. Elaborating on that, you were saying how arachnotrons are basically another teammate, and I completely
Yeah.
agree. We put these on the ground because arachnotron's strongest damage is their melee ability. So anytime we can close an area off and force the Slayer to get hit by it, it's instant damage, completely immobilizing him.
Yeah, it's the evolution, isn't it? And I know that it's been about a couple of months now for Doom Eternal, and it's even in that small space of time, the sort of general meta and the little tricks that you can go for. It's totally different to what it was on launch. You know, the evolution of going from players just kind of putting their summon demons down at the start of a round just to kind of like position them, to now, you know, with players like yourselves using it to, like, as and when, you know, when a fight breaks out, sometimes you'll see people save a Kako demon to spawn it immediately when a Slayer's up close because it both
Yeah.
blocks, and then you're within close range for a Kako to start chomping. And like you said with the Arachnotron, where it's save it for the right time, and then when it's up, just put it in an area that the Slayer can no longer go near, because they'll just they'll try and beat him up. You know, you didn't see that stuff on launch, but you're starting to see it a lot more as we progress with how the entire game develops. It's cool.
For sure. Yeah, I feel like I've seen a lot of cacodemons, especially in like extraction, just be like body blockers for like where like the jump pad in the middle is. I've seen so many cacodemons basically just be like
It's the best place. Best
just
place
like
to
hit
be.
him in the face. It's just like, oh, I can't actually use this jump pad because this cacodemon is literally body blocking me from it. But yeah, it's been really interesting to see that evolution. What were you gonna say, Ketchup? Sorry, bud.
I was gonna say that it almost feels like it's been super quick tonight, but
Yeah, yeah.
unfortunately, we're at that point where the 3 maps are done, and we're about to send the players away. But as we always do with Friday Night Fights, this whole show exists to celebrate the community and the players that are super passionate about the game. Right, that's why you're here. That's why you lovely people in chat are watching this. You know, starting with Allstin, we always want to give players their time to shine and their opportunity to give shout outs to people, and this is your moment to do that. Is there anyone you want to shout out before we finish things up tonight?
Absolutely. Starting off with some people I like to play battle mode with, Zexy and SaltyCow. Both of them are really good slayers. If you play the demon class, you need to fight them because they will give you a good run. If you want a challenge, right there. Keith, the Doom Lad, and Aster have also been really good spirited duel partners as well. Of course, Cronid has tried to help me out with some things. He's got a big brain on him. He knows strategies very well. Learn a lot. Conjugate's the body blocking pain elemental that's really annoying to fight. Zan, the awesome slayer, and of course, bite me as well because he is the person that helped me out the most when I first started out with Modern Doom, like right when I first started out, when I got the PC to be able to run it. So big thanks to him as well,
Hell
and
yeah.
everybody from Allstin community that watches and hangs out in the Discord. I appreciate everything.
Excellent. So I guess we'll just continue down the ladder, I suppose. SaltyCow, any shouts you want to give?
So first of all, it's my dad's birthday today. Actually, I would be celebrating it with him, but I celebrated it with the best community
Oh
ever.
my god, get out of here. No, I'm just kidding. What are you doing? No, it's fine. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'll be there in a bit.
Okay, cool.
And then, of course, I'd like to thank Allstin and Frost for just being here. Amazing. I have an amazing teammate. I have an amazing opponent. And I'd love to thank Zexy because I actually used to be a console man, but I built a PC for Doom Eternal specifically, and he
That's
Well, it
awesome.
helped me
changed your life,
find.
didn't it?
Yeah, dude. It helped me. He helped me find PC parts. And then, dude, hell yeah, he helps with practice. Tomatrix for just being Tomatrix. Bite me for his amazing streams that like are at 12 or 1 in the morning. It's just crazy. Zach and Miles, you two for being just awesome. And yeah, that's about it.
Well, last but certainly not least, Mr. Frost. This is your moment, man. Anyone you want to shout out before we finish things up?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Salty kind of said it himself. Obviously, Salty as my teammate, I definitely couldn't have done it without him. He's very well known in the community, and I felt honored for him to pick me as his teammate. And I think we definitely put on a show for the community.
Oh, definitely.
Obviously, Allstin for being a phenomenal slayer. I couldn't ask for a better challenge. You could definitely see it throughout the stream how it went from 1 to 3 to, or 0 to 3 to 1 to 3 to 2 to 3. Just he got better and better fighting us, and he adapted to our skills. And it's amazing to see players like that. And then obviously you two for casting us, giving us this opportunity to shine and show our love for the game and the community. Everyone watching, of course, my friends and family, specifically my boss that let me do this. So, you know, it's great for sure. I appreciate it.
It's a good boss. It's a really good boss. And we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for giving us like
you.
I love every week. Like everybody that comes on, like they give us such different styles of play. Like we see both really aggressive, really defensive, like really fast DPS, like really resource stacking, like Slayers. We see all of it, and it's because you guys keep coming on and being amazing. So GG's, thank you all very much for being here.
Yeah,
As
I
we
mean, if I go and check, like just because I've got quite possibly the world's worst memory. If I go back and look at just even this, yeah, like how many weeks we've done this in terms of a show, like this is like our 7th week, I'm pretty sure. I can see.
Yeah.
I'm just following unless I've deleted something here. We've been doing this for already about 7 weeks, and that's just. I feel like I've blinked and these weeks have just shot by, and we've captured so many players and so many different game plans and demon combos and slayers using different weapons or whatever it might be. It's no week has ever been the same, and it's a great time. I've enjoyed
It's
it.
true. So thank you guys again. I'm going to despawn you guys just for a minute so that we can talk about next week, because again, we always keep it going. We always keep it fresh. We make Friday night the night where you get to see the top level community players play Doom Eternal's battle mode. And next week, VV excited to premiere the idea of your boy Grizzly versus Awesome, and I'm not even going to try to say the other guy's name because it's Ape 8 Flyboy. I don't know how to say it. Look, when you start putting letters and numbers together, you can't expect us all to figure it all out. But either way, these guys are all super sweethearts. Grizzly, you will see, has been grinding his ass off. I'm sure if you've been playing battle mode, you've run across him once or twice. Very, very excited to see this. This is, of course, June 5th, 1 week from today. Same time, same channel, same place. That's here on Bethesda for our Bethesda at Home streams at 7:30 Eastern. Catch up, as always. It is my astute pleasure to cast with you, my friend and favorite caster in the biz. Thank you again. Before we go, again, we keep this party going. In a second, I'm going to switch over to the thanks for watching screen, but don't go anywhere because we will be rating a friend named, every time you start having X in a name and it's not like Xavier, I'm like, how do you do it? I think it's Xaxmede, Xamide. However the F.
Let's go.
Yeah, how you say that. That's who we're rating. They're working on a no glitch nightmare run. Let's everybody be super sweet, give them support, let them know we keep it going, we keep it fresh. Doom Eternal, literally forever, because that's what Eternal means. We love you guys. We'll see you next week. Thank you. Goodbye.
Peace out.